persevere or challenged or something. It's an opportunity to grow. God knows that better than we do. Prayers, it's an interesting thing. There's a lot of stuff available that's been passed down to us through the ages, through the church. There's been some incredible things written about prayer and certain people's experiences of it. And it's very interesting to read. It's very nourishing to read. For example, St. Teresa of Avila, she was a Carmelite sister back in the 16th century. And as a young woman, a young nun, every time she prayed, she just felt like she got nothing. It was just, anybody home? It's called dryness in prayer when you experience that. You just dry on. This went on for probably 25 years. Dryness. And then after this 25 years, some things started happening. That were pretty incredible. Took her quite by surprise. And as she got older, and last years of her life, a person has a tendency to kind of look back over their life. And when she did that, she realized that the time that her prayer was the most pleasing to God was all those years she thought nothing was happening. In reality, something was happening. She didn't know. God knew. Realized that was the time when her prayer was most pleasing to God. Why? I don't know what I can say exactly why, but one thing comes to my mind is because she was faithful anyway. We can make out of prayer what we can make out of anything. It's about me. It's about me. That's just not always true. We do hope to get something out of prayer. But it's like any relationship, there's moments, at least, I guess, you'll have to tell me, but maybe your spouse isn't your favorite person.
Yes, that is.
You will be walking. Nobody pick him up.
I mean, the reason I say that is because she's told me that a few times.
Yeah.
I get you right, yeah.
Way to walk.
You know how to use the washing machine?
But that's true, right? There's moments when they're not your favorite.
No, not always.
They're not the favorite person in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But you're still faithful to them anyway.
Yeah.
And in a way, we could say that's probably we're showing them more love in those times, really, than when it's easy.
Makes them think. Makes them think then.
Well,
What did I do really wrong?
perhaps.
Oops.
I'm not really speaking from experience here, but in a lot of ways, priests and like marriage are different. But at any rate, I would say it is. I mean, for example, think of Jesus in Luke's gospel on the cross when he forgives the people that hung him up there. And wouldn't you say that's a greater act of love than if they treated him like royalty? Well, sure. So that's what I'm saying is, in those moments when you're still faithful to your husband or wife, even though not necessarily your favorite person in the world right in that moment, that you're really showing them more love. That's greater love than when they're being wonderful and deep love.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, it's kind of the way things work, isn't it? So, it's kind of that way in prayer. That maybe we don't think we're getting anything out of it. Maybe we're just distracted because we're trying to plan out dinner or what we're going to do that day or whatever. But we gave it our best. We gave it our honest best. We'll wait for something. Because it's faithfulness. You know, it's the same way about coming to Mass. What about faithfulness? What about just faithfulness? Okay, so your kid was jumping up and down the pew, you didn't hear anything, you don't think you got anything out of it. It's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
We all did.
Faithfulness.
I had a guy come up to my work 2 days ago, and he was like, the little girl's a pistol in the shape. I'm like, oh my gosh. She had Jackson and Padlock over there in the pew, and I was like trying to separate them.
Well, I think it's up to the rest of us, you know, to not.
Yeah, not turn around and stay around, because that makes it worse. Yeah, that makes it worse. Yeah, that's true, that makes it worse.
And you know, I've heard people say, I just don't get anything out of church. But like you said, like a marriage, I think a lot of it has to do with what you put into it.
That's right.
You know,
And I
That's
think,
right.
I think that's with prayer life. I think it is like any other relationship. What you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And sometimes, do we have friends that we don't talk to for a month or two at a time, but we pick right back up?
Right.
You know? Or there's some people that you have to make a dedicated effort to make sure you stay in contact with them. Yeah, and do we have to do that for prayer sometime? And then I also think of my prayer life as being something that's living. I've got to feed it, I've got to nourish it, you know, food, water, and shelter. I've got to provide things for it, or it's just going to die and not be there, you know, because it's a living being. It's part of something, you know.
And just like you said, you've got to feed it every day.
Yeah.
You know,
And I think,
you can't feed it once a month,
no, and I think,
or once a week, you know, when you're at church.
yeah, and I think just like relationships, there's going to be highs and there's going to be lows. But you have to stay at it, because how easy is it to walk away from something that's hard? And how easy is it to stay with something that's so easy?
Yeah.
You know? And when things are really easy, are you putting as much into it as you could? Could it be even better if we weren't just coasting along? Because like, you know, I said my prayers, you know, I said the 10 Commandments, you know, I said,
Yeah.
you know, it was done. Yeah.
That is, that's cute.
Yeah, because don't ever worry about your kid. You ever saw Brady when he was little? Even nowadays, I mean, he's older. I'm like, oh, please, you're wearing me out, you know, but it's okay. Because I know he's getting something out of it, because, you know, they'll pick up something to say something.
Thursday, she's 3, so she started this week. She's
Yeah.
going by herself, because she started to go to preschool. So she's going in there, but we gotta dip our hands in the holy water before we go. And of course, I'm just afraid she's gonna nosedive in it. As long as she's content that she's good. And Jackson, he loves it too.
Good.
Yeah.
He's good at church, she's not.
Second child. It's a second child.
Maybe it's a
I said,
girl.
how do you get them two little boys to act so well in church? I said, you know, it's really amazing. I mean, they were little. He said, I just beat the hell out of them.
They're always good if they act it up, and Daryl's gonna yank about church, and then they're saying, don't want me, Daddy, don't want me coming out of church. I'm like, Daryl, that's bad.
Dad Jim always told us if you act up
Gotta be good, or you gonna
you
get
get
taken out.
when you get home. So one time I think y'all were coming over after church, leaving out and a bunch of people. So we asked for our spanking before church. And I remember we went to church and we were horrible. We got home and we got another spanking. It was like, Dad, we already got our spanking. He said, you asked for that one, you earned this. Never did, I tried to outsmart
That is
him.
funny.
No, but I thought it was good, you know.
Yeah.
That would be
To
fine.
Margie's
I do.
point, though, that's true. I think relationships don't just sort of happen. We do have to be intentional about them. And relationship with God is the same way. We have to make it a point to pray. You know, and we can pray little short things throughout the day, you know, help, thanks, whatever. But it's also good to have a set time or times to pray. You know, at this time, this is part of my routine. I'm going to pray, and I'm going to pray for this long. That's a good thing to do. It just gets woven into the fabric of your day. It's like brushing your teeth. It's just something you got to do.
And I think as a parent, that's my responsibility to help my kids develop this. And I think you can tell them, you can show them. But I think when you model it and they see you doing it, do they not want to do everything you're doing? And then also I learned through Brayton had a lot of energy, is having the patience to help him be still, explaining what I'm doing and why we're doing it, you know, and so forth. And then sometimes with Rayleigh, you know, we had to prompt her to ask a question because she was just going to do whatever you told her to do, you know. But let's ask some questions here, you know, let's talk about it. But I think as a parent, I think it's our responsibility to help our kids develop that relationship, just like you teach them how to play with other kids, you know, and how to share the toys. I think you have to teach them how to build a relationship with God.
I guess there are some specific Catholic ways of praying.
Like the rosary.
Maybe one of them.
Yeah, in here, October is the month of the rosary. So that's kind of, and I think Saturday, they're having
Yes.
the rosary.
It's at noon, isn't it?
Yes, at the Renaissance Club. Yes.
Oh, what?
It's up at the Renaissance place.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're doing
Or
it.
art festival.
Where they had all the.
You know, at
pageants.
town.
They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a theater.
Yeah, the name of it is
They're
the
gonna do-
Renaissance Club.
What are they gonna do
Those
there?
are going to be going on.
They're going to say the rosary as a community.
Ready today.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well,
And,
I didn't know, that's the first time they've ever done this, isn't it?
no, I think it's the 5th year.
Yeah.
Did they really?
I think it is.
I think so. And I had it on the table, Brandon brought it home with her too, so photo this week. And
Yeah.
I think it's in the 5th year.
Wow.
Yeah, Dickie Alley, wasn't he the one that started
Started.
that?
He's-
Uh,
yeah,
Yes, I
big in
think
it.
so.
Yeah.
Dickie Nally, yeah. Huh.
So, you know, in the rosary, when we go through it, we're contemplating the life of Jesus, the mysteries around his life, you know. And your handout has the different mysteries that we pray. Now, I'd like you, not that I should have asked you last night, you know how we pray different ones certain days of the week? How did that come about?
I'm not sure because initially, you know, the rosary came from the monks praying the divine office, which is, there's 150 psalms. The divine office is based on the psalms. So people were so illiterate, though, this is the early centuries of the church, they couldn't read the psalms. And so to give them a way to pray like that because they desired to, they would said, well, you know, okay, just pray 150 of these Hail Marys by our Father in the between. That still is considered a full rosary. I'm not exactly sure where the days and all that comes from, but the idea, yeah, the mystery during the decade, which, you know, that means 10. So during starts on Our Father and pray 10 Hail Marys after that. Closes with the glory be. And you announce at the beginning what the mystery is. And the idea is to meditate on that mystery during that decade. And so the Hail Mary is sort of like background music, I guess, you might say. But repeating a prayer like that is itself a form of prayer. It's called a mantra.